And I just felt, oh my God, I don't want to do it. But I think this is really a good teaching point or coaching point about intentionality. So if you've been following me on my Instagram, you're going to see that I've been speaking a lot about being intentional and intentional living. And what intentional living is really all about is making decisions and sticking to those decisions and taking deliberate, intended actions to ensure that you actually live what it is that you desire to live. And I think this has been such a transformative way that I have lived my life. And over the last sort of year or so, I've really ramped up how much I step into intentionality. And so today it's really about getting us to think, how intentional are we in our lives? How deliberate are we in the day-to-day actions that we take? So from the moment you wake up right down to when you sleep, how much of the time in between those two spaces have you really dedicated to deliberate action taking? And it's not only just about deliberate action taking, it's also about deliberate thinking. Because the way we think has a direct impact on the emotions that we feel. And we always make a decision based on how we feel. And in emotional intelligence, we learn that when we feel an emotion, we are supposed to train our minds to first process what that emotion is. So that once we have processed that emotion, we are in a better position to make a decision that will impact the actions that we take, which ultimately becomes the outcomes that we experience. Many of us, we don't necessarily go through that filtering emotional process. And so we're making decisions really without challenging our emotions, and we make that into a decision. I'm just going to read what you've written here. No worries at all. It's going to be a quick one. Today is really more about just speaking to you on what intentionality is and just dropping some questions that you can think about throughout this week. So I've just basically gone to explaining the importance of being intentional. Okay, we're going to wrap this up because I have to be somewhere by 7:30. So we're going to wrap this up in the next sort of 10, 15 minutes. But I want to challenge each and every one of us, and those of you who are going to watch the replay, that this week really set yourself up to be deliberate. And what that means is you have to already think ahead of time what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, look at some of the goals that you have set for yourself this year, the ones that are still outstanding, and ask yourself, what decisions do I need to take? What thinking do I need to practice? What do I need to remove or add or change into my life that can help me to become more intentional as I move towards this goal? Okay, so here are the journal prompts that we're going to work through this week, and I will send them in an email as well. But the first set of journal prompts is to set yourself up for the day. Last week, I sent you guys information on how to set weekly intentions. And I explained that a weekly intention is simply making a decision on how you want your week to look like, right? So you kind of make a determination of mind that this is how my week is going to look like. Now, I want to help you to break that weekly intention into something that you can check in with yourself on a daily basis. So in the morning, I have this journal practice that I have, and it's been something that's helped me a lot. When you wake up in the morning, after you've done everything that you need to do, whatever it is that you usually do to get yourself set up, what I want you to be able to do is to now decide how your day is going to go. Okay? Making a decision about your day is very important when we are talking about intentionally living. So the first thing that you're going to do is to think about, or to drop back into your body and ask yourself, what is the emotion that I'm feeling right now? So you're going to check in with yourself by identifying your current emotion. Now, you're going to know what your emotion is by simply deciding on one word. Okay? Your emotion is a word. I feel sad, I feel anxious, I feel determined, I feel motivated, I'm inspired. And in the email that I'll send out a list of some of the emotions that you can try to help yourself figure out. But it's very important when you're starting your day to figure out what is your starting point. Most of us don't do this. We wake up, we just get on with our day. Right? We wake up, we just get on with our day. We don't really process what it is that we're doing. But once you have identified your current state of emotion, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to journal, what are you thinking in that current moment that is causing you to feel the way that you feel? I'll say that again. Remember that our emotions are based off what we are thinking. Okay? So there has been a string of thoughts that has gone into your mind that has caused you to feel a particular way that you are feeling. And so what your job is to do in this morning journaling practice is to think about what thoughts has made me feel sad, or made me feel confused or anxious, whatever that emotion you came up with. And you're going to write them down. You're going to write at least 3 to 5 thoughts that are running through your mind that is causing you to feel the way that you feel. Why is this important? It's important because it gives you the opportunity to decide whether those thoughts are serving you or they are not serving you. And what do I mean by that? Are those thoughts helpful? Thinking that way, is it going to help you to get to where you desire to get to in your day? So that's the first level. Welcome, Meg. This is a very short session for us today. I've got an appointment at 7:30. So I want to run through a morning journal practice that I want to encourage you guys to use this week to help you to become a little bit more intentional with how you're living your lives. Okay, so you haven't missed much. We've really only just started, but it's also going to be a very quick one. So if you do have your pen and paper, jot down what I'm going to basically suggest for you as your morning routine. So I started off by saying that when you wake up in the morning, at any point you decide to start this process, the first thing that I want you to do is to ask yourself, what is my current emotion? Okay, and you're going to pick a word that describes that emotion. You're not going to write a story. You're not going to write a sentence. You're not going to write a paragraph. You're going to pick a word. Now, why is this important? Picking a word causes you to really tune into yourself to figure out what actually it is you are feeling. When you're using too much words, you get lost in translation. But to come up with the right word is going to require you to sit with yourself and really feel what it is that you're feeling. So that's your journal prompt number 1, is to ask yourself, what is my current emotion right now? And you put a word down that describes that emotion. Your second journal prompt is, what thoughts are causing this emotion? Okay, number 2, what thoughts are causing this emotion? I shared just at the beginning of the session that our thoughts is always driving the way that we feel. Okay, and it's the way that we feel, it is our emotions that have an impact on the decisions that we make. When we make a decision, it ultimately leads to an action or a non-action. But whichever the case is, action or not taking action, it will turn into an outcome. And the outcome is what we experience. Now, when we're talking about intentional living, what we are always working towards is having the experience that we desire. And so we are now taking strategic, deliberate, intentional, purposeful steps to ensure that this experience that we desire is our outcome. And what I'm sharing with you is a morning practice that I have that has allowed me to step into the role of being more intentional in my life so that I can actually receive the things, experience the things, have the things, and be the things that I want to actually have. So once you have been able to identify what you're thinking that is causing you to feel that way, you're now sitting in the seat of position of power, personal power. What does that mean? It now means you have the choice to decide, does this emotion serve me? Do I want this emotion to be the emotion that I carry out through my day? And so your third journal prompt is to ask yourself, what actually is my desired emotion for this day? How do I want to feel today? Because we have control over how we want to feel, right? Many of us think that the way we feel, our emotions, is because of things happening to us externally. It's not. Our emotions is always because of the way we are thinking about things. That is what informs the quality of the emotions that we have. So your next prompt, after you've figured out what you're feeling, you've asked yourself what you're thinking, you're now going to ask yourself, what do I want to feel? And to get to this answer, you have to think about, what are you trying to achieve? What is the outcome that you desire? Right? So you're looking at yourself at the end of the day. How do you want to feel by the end of the day? How do you want this day to look like? What are some of the goals? What are some of the tasks? What are some of the things you have to get through this day? And how are you going to make sure you have the right emotion to give you the outcomes that you want? And this is where we can use our goals to guide us into how we are living our lives day to day. This is why it's so important to actually have a plan for your life, a vision for your life, a goal for your life, a dream, a desire, so that every day you are doing something that leads you closer and closer to that goal. So you think about, how do I want to feel? Right? So last week I had a number of job interviews for some consulting opportunities, lots of really, really fantastic organizations contacting me and wanted to interview me and all of that good stuff. And each day I had a different desired emotion, but there was one particular day that I was going for an interview for a really prestigious organization, one of the best organizations in the entire world, right? And they wanted me to interview for the position of a leadership and executive coach. And so that day, knowing that I had that interview, my desired emotion was to feel confident. Okay, so I had written down on my journal, my desired emotion is confidence. I want to be confident when I'm when I'm on this interview panel. When they're asking me questions about my expertise, I want to be confident in what I know and in what I'm competent at to demonstrate to them I'm the right fit for the job. I wanted that certainty within myself. Whether I get the job or not, I wanted to feel in control of myself confidently when I showed up on that interview. So the next thing that I had to do, which is your prompt question number 4, right, is what thoughts do I need to practice today that is going to ensure that I'm feeling confident? And so I listed about 3 to 5 thoughts that I wanted to practice every moment of my day. This is where the intentionality comes in. Most of us, we are not thinking about what it is we are thinking. And so we are not taking charge of how we want to feel. And not taking charge of how we want to feel is impacting the decisions that we are making, and it's resulting in action steps and outcomes that we do not want in our lives. So what were some of the thoughts I had to think and practice in order to feel confident? One of the thoughts was, I can do this. I have what it takes. I am competent in my abilities. The right job for me will come to me, right? So these were some of the thoughts I was repeating throughout the day to help me to maintain an emotion of confidence, such that by the time I had gone on to the interview, it was a 15-minute interview panel. I was speaking with the chief executive of the organization or the department and 3 other individuals. It was a panel of 4 altogether. I showed up confident. My speech was clear. There was no stuttering. There was no any question they threw at me, I gave them an answer that made sense. They were impressed with me. And the result of it is now I'm through the next stage, more or less the final stage of the interview. Now, is this about me getting the job? Great, if I get the job, it's an added blessing, of course. Why not? But it's more about me actually taking deliberate steps to wire my day to give me the outcome that I desire. Okay, so let me know in the chat box that you're understanding what I'm saying, especially you, Meg, because I know that you just joined, and I don't want you to feel like you're lost in translation. But you're going to start a morning routine this week. Every day, I want you to commit to doing these journal prompts, because if you commit to doing these things every day, you will see a transformation in your life. You will see momentum happening in your life. You will see action being aligned to where you desire to go. Number 1 is to ask yourself, what is my current state of feeling? And you must only write 1 word. There's no story, there's no long thing, there's no paragraph. Pick a word. Number 2, what thoughts am I thinking that is causing me to feel this way? You write down your top 3 to 5 thoughts in that moment that you are thinking that is causing you to feel excited or causing you to feel anxious, causing you to feel bitter, causing you to feel happy, whatever your emotion that you decided you feel. Your number 3 step is to now sit in a position of being purposeful, direct, deliberate, and intentional, and you ask yourself, what emotion do I desire to feel today? You make a decision. It could be the same as what you're currently feeling, or it could be something else. It doesn't really matter. But once you have decided that emotion, the 4th thing that you're going to do is to map out 3 to 5 thoughts that you will commit to practicing thinking throughout that entire day. So if you want to feel motivated, what thoughts will come into your mind to practice to make you feel like you are motivated. It can be thoughts like, come on, Banker, let's do this. Stay committed to yourself. I'm a woman who commits to her goals. I have what it takes. I know what I'm doing. I am motivated. This is not hard. This is easy. Any thinking or any thought that is going to make you feel motivated, that is what you want to practice throughout your day. Number 5, what am I going to do in my surroundings that will inspire me to maintain the emotion that I desire? Okay, so number 5, you're looking at your environment. If you want to feel relaxed and calm, is your environment going to have loads of people inside? Is your environment going to be noisy like the high street or the express? What will you do in your immediate environment that can induce that sense of feeling relaxed or calm, right? If you want to be motivated or if you want to be focused, right? Maybe you have a deadline, maybe you have some projects that you're working on and you want clarity and focus. Is that when you're going to have your phone on you and you're pinging yourselves and you're doing WhatsApp every moment? Or do you decide that in this moment, my environment cannot have my phone on ringer? I have to turn off my notification. I have to switch off any distractions, right? So decide how your environment that you choose to spend the day in is going to align with the emotion that you have chosen you want to feel. That's number 5. The last one, number 6. How do you show up? What do I mean by that? What do you look like? So remember, there's a concept in psychology, and I'm going to round up now. There's a concept in psychology called enclosed cognition. What does that mean? It means that scientists have been able to prove that our physical appearance has a direct bearing on the way that we feel, the way that we behave, and the outcomes that we have. And they ran a test with 2 sets of people, both wearing white coat overalls, right? A bit like what the doctors or the pharmacies wear. One set of people were told, this jacket, this white jacket you're wearing represents you as a doctor. Another set of people wearing the same exact white outfit, jacket, were told this white jacket represents you as a painter. And they ran a various cognitive tests, different types of assessments, just to see what mental performance these 2 groups of people had. When they looked at the results of the people who were told their overalls were representative of doctors, the outcomes of their test was remarkably much higher than those who were told that they were painters. I don't know the details of the test, but what the research outcome was, there is an impact on the way we physically present ourselves and how we show up in our day-to-day life. So the 6th thing you're going to do in your morning routine to help you to embody an element of intentional living is that you are going to dress up the way you desire to feel. I go back to my example of when I had my interview for this prestigious organization. I wanted to feel confident. Now, most of you know that I work from home 90% of the time. Right now, I'm in my home office downstairs. So really and truly, I don't actually have a real need to be dressed up. No one sees me. I don't interact with the public. My clients are online. But my culture, my personal ethos is, Banker, it doesn't matter where you are, you must always look your best. If you're going to the shop, you look your best. You will never really catch me looking off unless I just have one of those funny days. But for this particular day, I knew that I needed to wear something that was going to boost my confidence, but make me feel graceful and sexy and, you know, comfortable. And so I wore a really nice outfit, and I knew I was illuminating. I knew that I was a light in that virtual room. I just knew it. I showed up, my hair was on point, my clothes was on point, my makeup was on point. I just exuded, yes, let's go. Ask me any questions, I will give you the answers because I'm the best person for this job. It wasn't from an arrogant place, but it was such a certain assuredness of who I am. So the sixth thing that you're going to do in your morning practice is to actually set out, what am I going to look like in order to embody this emotion that I desire? If you want to feel relaxed, is that the time you will now wear your tightest waist trainer, your tightest jeans, your tightest top, that you can't move anywhere, you can't feel relaxed because you're so constricted and you're in pain? Most likely not. You're probably going to wear something very loose fitting, very comfortable, very easy, so you can flow through your day, right? If you want to be motivated, are you going to be in your pajamas all day or wearing your bubu or whatever it is that they call your kaftan that you wore to bed with your hair bonnet, with your scarf? Is that going to make you feel motivated? Chances are it's not. So this is why I want you to be deliberate and intentional in how you physically show up for yourself and how it matches what it is that you desire. Okay, so that is the assignment for this week. We didn't do any journaling in this particular session, but this is the journaling that I want you to practice from tomorrow all through to Sunday, and then feed back to me. Send me an email, send me a message, tag me on Instagram. Let me know how that system worked for you. And you may already be doing something similar to this. Ramp it up. Ask yourself, how can I take this one next level up? Yeah, maybe push it to a bigger goal than you've been pushing yourself for, if this is already something that you do. All right, guys. So did you understand the points? Let me know in the chat box. I really need to know that you got this because I didn't prepare any slides for you guys, but I will in the email write down these 6 steps for you again. Let me know in the chat box. Everyone's quiet. What's going on? Did you hear me? Okay, so that's the plan for this week. And what I'm sharing really is a fragment of an upcoming workshop that I'm going to be releasing next month, hopefully. I'm yet to decide on my dates. But it's going to be a 5-day workshop. Each workshop is just going to be an hour, Monday to Friday. I would send out the dates or whatever. It's a paid workshop, by the way. But I will be opening up the wait list for anyone who's interested in registering before the end of this month. But this workshop is going to change your life. I've called it the Intentional Living Workshop because that really is where the transformation you need takes place. Those of you who say to me, I feel stuck, I don't know where I'm going, I'm not making progress, I keep going forward, I keep going backwards, I'm still working on myself, I'm still trying to figure out. Listen, it is being intentional about your day-to-day life that's going to change all of that story. And this intentional living workshop is really going to be based on focusing on your mindset, focusing on your style, how you show up, and then focusing on how you create a conducive environment to help you to thrive. I'm going to be covering topics like elegant time management. Time management is a big, big area that so many people miss it. How do you show up for yourself? How do you stick to the plan? How do you ensure you're not overcommitting yourself and you're giving yourself enough time to get things done? Elegant time management. I'm going to be teaching about chic habit creation. How do you create habits that will stick and be consistent and sustainable? I will show you exactly how to do that. And then we're going to talk about graceful emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is the way I'm going to coach it is not from the traditional perspective. It will have elements of it, but it will also teach you how to gracefully deal with your emotions so that they are not the stumbling block in the outcomes and the goals that you desire. I'm really excited about this workshop. I can't wait to teach it. And I think I'm definitely going to do it as a 5-day workshop. I wanted to do it as a 3-day workshop, but there's just far too much content to pack in, and I don't want to rush this. I'm going to have a really great workbook for you guys that you can work through. Every day you're going to get an audio love note from me. And then in the evenings, you will get an email newsletter. So there's going to be so much that you're going to have that you can use as your toolkit to truly live a life that is rewarding, a life that truly lights you up. And, you know, I want to get to a place where the people in my community are not saying, I feel stuck. I know I'm the unstuck mentor, and that's my job, and that's why you guys come to me. But I want you to get unstuck. I want you to live lives that truly excite you. I want you to wake up in the morning and feel the best version of yourself. I want you to bring your future self into your present self, because it's all very possible and all very doable. Esther says, for me, I think it's all about journaling about your thoughts and being intentional. It is. It is. When you are not intentional, you are not creating the life that you desire. When you are not intentional, you are not creating the life that you desire. And I want to help you to get there. We have one more session of our journaling time together. I'm not doing one for December, because December, there's loads of activities for me. And it's usually the time where I wind down. So next month, you do not want to miss this. If you've missed other sessions, make next month, you know, a commitment to come into. Guys, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for showing up, because this again shows the intentionality that you have, right? I have about 60 to 70 people registered to attend these workshops, and a large number of them don't attend. And that in itself is so clearly demonstrative of how intentional we are about what we say we want to do. But those that show up, or those that watch the replay, they're the ones that truly are committed to the transformation that they want to make. And so I want to celebrate you. I want to commend you. It's not easy to take time out of your Sunday to come and listen to me, but well done. And the next session is going to be a Q&A session, okay? So again, ask me questions. I never want to feel like all I ever do is just throw stuff at you, okay? Utilize the ability to get feedback. So if you have questions, if there are areas that you feel you don't know how to navigate, email me, send me a DM, tag me on Instagram, whatever way you know to communicate, reach out to me. Yeah, I'm a resource for you, right? People pay me $350 for 1 hour of my time for me to help them get to the next level. If you work with me for a 3 months period, you're paying $3,500, right? So if I give myself to you in my community, you want to take every value that's available to you, right? So it's an open invitation to welcome you. Do not feel like, oh, she's too busy, or she doesn't have time, or she's not going to see my email. I read every single person's email, every single person. It may take me a while to get through because I have a busy schedule, but there's no email that comes into my inbox that I don't eventually get to. So use me as your tool of transformation, and stay tuned for the 5-day workshop that's coming up. You do not want to miss it. I haven't decided my price points yet. I haven't decided the dates and all of that yet. But once I do, you definitely want to be a part of that, because it is guaranteed to change your life. All right, guys. Esther says, thank you, ma'am, for sharing your time with us. Thank you too, Esther. I really appreciate you sharing your time as well with me. So have a wonderful week. You are blessed. You are highly favored. Doors of opportunities are flung open for you this week. Every step you take is guided and ordered and directed, and you are in alignment with the highest version of yourself. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you very, very soon. Bless you.